It's that time of the month again for Nature News, November 2025 edition. On this episode, we'll travel across canyons, coasts, glaciers, forests, and mountains, touching on some real stories of nature's beauty, danger, and unpredictability. Some are tragic, some are surreal, and all are a reminder of the raw power and complexity of the wild. Welcome to Morbid Outdoors, the podcast that ventures deep into the shadows of the wild. Here, we unravel the mysteries of missing persons, explore spine chilling legends, and share the most morbid stories that nature has to offer. From the depths of the dense forests to the highest mountain peaks, we'll uncover the secrets that lie hidden in the great outdoors. Join us as we navigate the eerie, the unexplained, and the terrifying. So if you dare, grab your gear and let's embark on a journey into the unknown. This is Morbid Outdoors. Hello, everyone. I hope you all had a great holiday if you celebrated. I hope everyone was safe. And yeah, we're just going to dive into it today. This will probably be a shorter episode. I couldn't find a lot that happened in nature this month. So we're going to start with a tragedy at Guano Point at the Grand Canyon National Park. And I saw this article, and it's just really sad when anyone dies in nature, but also this is just something that could have been prevented. And I think it's important to talk about these things because maybe next time you might think twice, and I might think twice about doing something that could potentially endanger our lives. So, on Thursday, November 6th, 2025, a 65-year-old man tragically died after he slipped and fell 100 feet, more than 100 feet, off of the edge of the Grand Canyon at Guano Point, which is a scenic viewpoint on the canyon's west rim. Now, rescue crews from the Mojave County Sheriff's Office search and rescue team, along with the Hulupai Tribal Police Department, the Nation Fire, and Grand Canyon West Security, they all responded to this fall. They deployed a technical rope system, which was a pulley lowering setup to descend into the canyon and recover his body, which was found about 130 feet down a rock scree pile. The man's identity was not yet publicly released, and the authorities asked for privacy for his family. I'm wondering if his family was at the Grand Canyon with him when this happened, or if he was traveling alone. Photos released by the sheriff's office show responders lowering a basket into the canyon, and that Guano Point lacks protective fencing or guardrails at many overlooks, adding a sobering context for the risk any visitor faces. So, while this article did say that there are not enough fencing or guardrails, it's not I mean, I'm not trying to victim shame here, right? But if there's a steep ledge, maybe it's best not to get too close to it, guardrail or no, because even guardrails are not going to always protect you from an accident. Now, the takeaway from this is that this tragedy is a stark reminder that even the most iconic vistas hold real danger. When you're near a canyon rim, treat the edge with seriousness. Avoid leaning over, stay aware, and steer clear of temptation just to get the perfect picture. Next, we're going to Switzerland when a mystery has been solved after 31 years. So, this is what happened. On October 15th, 2025, a group of climbers ascending Obergabelhorn, which is 4,063 meters or 13,330 feet peak in Switzerland's Pennine Alps, they actually discovered human remains and what appeared to be personal effects on the glacier. The site was reported to the local police, and officers were flown in by helicopter to secure the remains and belongings. And it was just this month that we found out who it was. The remains were definitively identified as those of a Swiss mountaineer who was born in 1969 and went missing along with another climber on November 4th, 1994. One of the two that had been found earlier in the year 2000, and the newly discovered remains closed the case of the long lost climbers. Now, this was just one of several such recoveries. As glaciers melt under accelerating climate change, you know, this is happening a lot. I think every single month that I've done nature news, there's always a story about finding remains on a glacier that weren't previously there because of ice and snow. So, authorities say the retreat of glacial ice worldwide is increasingly revealing human remains from decades and sometimes centuries ago. Glaciers may preserve stories and lives long buried. As warming melts ice, mountains and glaciers are becoming unlikely time capsules, bringing closure to long standing mysteries. But they also underscore how climate change is reshaping not just landscapes, but the history we thought might have been lost at the time. Next, we're going to go to Canada, and I'm sure that you probably already saw this news story because it's really alarming actually. So on Thursday, November 20th, 2025, in a remote community near the village of Bella Coola, British Columbia, this is specifically near a small community called 4 Mile, a female grizzly bear and her two cubs attacked a group of elementary school children and their teachers during a lunch break along a walking trail. In total, 11 people were injured, including several children as young as 9 years old. Four were seriously or critically hurt. Two teachers and some students were airlifted to hospitals, while others were treated on site or in their community. According to local parents, one teacher got the brunt of the attack. Another teacher reportedly jumped on the bear. One used crutches to hit the animal. A third teacher discharged 2 cans of bear spray. However, the spray apparently had little effect. After sustained struggle, the bear finally fled back into the woods. Authorities say they believe the bear, was a sow with cubs, remains at large. Conservation officers and local police are conducting a search in the area, and residents have been asked to stay indoors and avoid the region for the time being. Local officials and the province's minister called the teachers true heroes for their bravery in trying to protect the children. So I definitely saw this in the news headlines. And honestly, this is really frightening. I mean, you're in bear country already, but to have that many children and people that are all being attacked, that is horrifying. I'm sure it was terrible. So, this is perhaps one of the most serious recent wildlife human conflicts, and a painful demonstration of what can happen when humans enter remote wilderness areas, even in seemingly safe contexts like school outings. It's a stark reminder that in bear country, especially when cubs are involved, risk is real and caution or avoidance may be the only safe path. Like I said, it was a slow month in terms of nature news, so I have 3 shorter ones now. So, this happened in Garapata State Park in California, and authorities are still searching for a man described at about 30 years old who was swept into the Pacific Ocean by a large wave on Saturday, November 22nd. He was last seen wearing a white turban, black shirt, black shorts, and a black vest style jacket. A Coast Guard helicopter reportedly spotted what looked like a body, but rough surf prevented recovery. The search turned into a recovery effort, but so far no trace has been recovered. This incident actually occurred just days after a previous drowning at the same park, which has fueled serious concerns about coastal safety. All right, and then in New Zealand, Mount Cook specifically, on November 24th, 2025, two climbers, one an internationally recognized mountain guide um, named Thomas Via Latet, and his client from the United States, they both died after falling from a ridge on the west side of Mount Cook. They were part of a four-person team, and the other two climbers were rescued by helicopter and unharmed. Their bodies were found the next morning and recovered by mid afternoon. This mountain is 3,724 meters or 12,218 feet, and it remains one of the world's most challenging and unforgiving peaks. And then a safety warning from Yosemite National Park in California. A rapidly expanding crack, dubbed supernatural, has developed on the western side of the cliff formation known as the Royal Arches, near the popular climbing route Superslide. The fissure was first noted in 2023 at about an inch wide, and by 2025 it has widened to approximately 4 inches. And park geologists reportedly heard rock cracking like a frozen lake breaking, an alarming phenomenon. In response, several climbing routes, including Superslide, Serenity Cracks slash Sons of Yesterday, Peruvian Flake West, and Rhombus Wall, as well as the section of the Yosemite Valley Loop Trail, they actually all remain closed out of safety. Officials are warning of a significant rock fall risk. All right, so what do these stories mean and what can we learn from them? Nature doesn't owe us safety. We owe nature respect. From canyon rims to ocean waves, from granite cliffs to glacier ice, natural environments are unpredictable. The Grand Canyon tragedy, the Big Sur ocean incident, and the Mount Cook disaster demonstrate that beauty and danger often coexist. Being cautious, prepared, and aware can make the difference between a great memory and a tragedy. Climate change is unearthing the past, literally speaking. The recovery of a 1994 missing climber's remains from a Swiss glacier shows how melting ice is exposing long lost stories. As glaciers recede worldwide, we may continue to find more surprises, human and otherwise. It's a powerful reminder of how shifting climates are reshaping not just landscapes, but stories and history we might have thought we already knew. Precaution and humility matter always, whether you're a climber, hiker, parent, or nature enthusiast. Check your surroundings, respect closures and warnings, don't ever assume safety, and avoid tempting fate. Natural places are always there, but your time is borrowed. If you take away just one thing from this month's roundup, let it be this: nature's beauty carries power and unpredictability. Whether you're on a promenade, a trail, a cliff, near water, or high in the mountains, tread lightly, stay alert, and respect the wild as it is, not as we wish it to be. If you share these stories with friends or family, maybe it will help them rethink a risky shortcut or remind them that wildlife deserves space, not selfies. Stay safe, stay curious, and until next month's news, keep exploring, but keep your feet and sense firmly on solid ground. As always, recreate responsibly and remember, sometimes the great outdoors aren't always great. Thanks for listening to Morbid Outdoors. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, make sure to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast platform. It's free, easy, and it helps us out immensely. When you subscribe, you get updates on our latest episodes, and it also boosts our visibility, making it easier for other curious souls to find us. Another great way to support Morbid Outdoors is by leaving us a review. Whether you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen, a quick review helps us know what you love about the show. You can also join us on Patreon for early and ad-free content. Find us on Instagram and Facebook at Morbid Outdoors Podcast. You can email us case suggestions and your campfire stories at morbidoutdoorspodcast@gmail.com. Thanks so much for the support, and I'll see you next time.